Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I'm really excited that you are all here. Thank you again just for joining me on this program. As you can see, YouTube, if you're listening through Spotify, so many other channels. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to reach out to all of you. In addition, give you some free tips and advice. And if you want to act on any of those tips and advice, I'm definitely here, happy to help. And that can be reached at 267 702 3756. But on with the show, I wanted to talk to you guys about a story that happened with me with credit repair. Now, for most of you know, I am part of this FES UCES program in which that we enroll folks, whether it be agents or I should say agents and those who are looking to build up their credit. With the program itself, it gives you a bunch of features, things that you could differently do. But what I did was I actually took advantage of the student loan program. Now, my credit score has increased. I think I'm up by 20%. I will be honored and proud to say this is the first time me passing into the 600s. Well, I should say it's been a long time since me passing in the 600s. So I'm really, really happy getting back to that. But what I wanted to focus on is the fine print. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of folks, when we do these credit repair programs, we're not doing our homework in regards to, well, what's going to be the outcome? What's going to be the worst thing that could happen? There's always the good, there's always the good of, hey, I'm going to have a lower monthly bill. I'm going to have a lower credit card payment. I'm going to be able to take care of this now. I'm going to be able to take care of that now. But when they tell you about car insurance and breaking that down, they say, hey, in case this occurs, you'll be covered on this. In case that occurs, you'll be covered on this. But with credit repair, there's really no, hey, if this happens, we're going to be leading to this. So my story is this that I want to share with you all is that from me being in the student loan, payback, piggyback, reback, however you want to put it, but paying my student loan back, what they did honestly was consolidate the loan. They took what I owed, they paid it off, and now they have a different program that's right under me. Now, when I was initially paying on the student loan, it was maybe like 170, 175, 180. It's been so long since I made that payment that I'm like, yeah, I can't recall. But of course, my interest was where it was at. So me pretty much paying the minimum payment really wasn't doing much except saying, putting a smile on their faces and a smile, somewhat of a smile on my face, saying that another bill paid off this month. Yay. I'm so excited, so excited. But with the student loan program that I'm in, my payments currently are like less than a third of that. But this is what got me hit. And first, I was getting a call back to back, like, hey, Dan, I need to talk to you in regards to the increase on your rate. And it's like, whoa, increase. And here I'm thinking, you know what? She said that the interest wasn't tackled. And well, come to find out, these new payments that I'm moving to are pretty much going to be doubling. So going from a third of what I used to pay, now double that. It is still less. But ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing these credit repair programs, you need to see, hey, what's the worst that could happen? Am I going to have to pay like a balloon payment once all this is done and over with? Am I going to have to be responsible for paying out of pocket upfront costs? What's going to be my bottom line? What's going to be the lowest point ever? And have that conversation. I hear a lot of people sign up through different programs that say, hey, we're going to be able to do this for you. We're going to be able to do that for you. It's going to require X, Y, and Z, but nobody ever will go into the details of like, hey, this is what could happen. Now, I'm going to let you flat out in regards to what could happen as far as the bottom line, that you continue to pay the monthly payment to stay in the credit repair program 6, 7, 8 months, maybe even a whole year. But during that year, you will have attained other benefits that come with staying in the program. After being in a year, that life insurance is offered to you at a $100,000 policy, which is something great because it's like, hey, because I spent a year's time in this program, my cost and fees that I had put in away towards it on a monthly basis has now brought me to this point where I have a life insurance value policy. But with the life insurance, and I would want you to do your homework on it, is actually do the research as far as what type of life insurance that it offers. Hey, maybe if I put $50 towards a cash value life insurance that I could take money out of from time to time, then that's going to be a better option than me just putting into a program that I'm just doing the bare minimum on. Now, the reason why FES offers so many benefits and advantages to it is because, hey, credit repair is the last thing they want you to be concerned with. It's honestly going back to helping others. It's going back to assisting folks. Hey, what do they need with this? What do they need with that? Whether it be, finding a secure credit card or unsecured credit card to help them navigate to increase their score to where it needs to be at. And a lot of folks that have come to me have asked, hey, Dan, I heard great things about the program, but what can I be doing now? My credit score is at 710. I want to increase it up a little bit more. I do have this one credit card, but I'm really not doing much with it. Well, if it's a 10% activity and it's on a $10,000 line, you need to put some activity on it to show that you are financially responsible. Because if you were given $10,000 right now, whether it be a credit card or a gift, just cash or winnings from other reason, how financially responsible would you be? Would you be setting it up to where it's like, all right, I have this 10,000, now I'm going to flip it to make 13,000 off of it. So now that extra 3,000 I could use to whatever I want to use it for, in addition to the other 10,000 gets stayed. Or are you going to burn right through it and say, oh, I need to get this, I need to take care of that, I need to purchase this, I've been looking at this clothing item, this is something I definitely need. So going back to as how you should be financially responsible, you should also be responsible in reviewing the credit repair programs that you are becoming a part of. In addition, I wanted to give you my story, not so much to discourage you, but just to also think, all right, Dan's bind is that ultimately he's still paying way less. He might have gotten the burden where his payments are going to slightly increase by a lot, but it's still way less than what he has to pay right now. The other benefit, which I wish he actually should have just led with this in the first place, was that my next due date for these student loan payments actually aren't going to be coming until actually around October, November. So, as concerns wrapped around like, oh my gosh, my payments are going to increase, it's going to be so long for me getting to that point. And by that time, there's so many things going on in my life that I'm working on that I will be in a whole different scope of seeing where my bills are at, that I'll probably like, oh wait, this might be something I could just pay off right here, right now. So think about those things when you are doing, credit repair and building yourself up. Foresee for the future. Hey, where am I going to be at in 6 months if I continuously make $300 on this credit card bill? Where am I going to be at in 5 months if I do it? 3 months, 2 months? Where am I going to be at if I start splitting up my payments and adding on an additional $25? You won't know until you yourself do the calculations. And there's plenty of places that I can actually direct you to where you can have such as like a credit score tracker, but what it does is that it specifically tells you, hey, if you got a $6,000 credit card balance and you're capped at around 4,500, if you were to put $500 on that, then your credit score will increase by X amount. Now, don't take my word for it, but I'm just saying that there are programs out there that your bank should be aware of, definitely, or local credit union to assist you in that. If you don't have anybody, you're more than welcome to give me a call, 267-702-3756, and I'll be sure to point you in the right direction. So I'm going to be sharing a few things on this show today, ladies and gentlemen. We just went over some credit repair. I'm also been diving a little bit into some stock tips, but it's more so on how you should invest. Not, hey, this is the stock tip that you got to know of, but paying attention to what's actually surrounding you and saying like, it's the Super Bowl. Okay, cool. So a lot of people are going to be wanting to buy jerseys either before or after the Super Bowl. So what places sell clothing items pertaining to NFL apparel and such? Nike. Oh, Nike does that. Oh, wow. Oh, Microsoft. Those are actually the tablets that are being utilized while being on the field. So that's also something that I could be pursuing. So instead of me trying to find that magic NFL stock or that magic company that's tied directly to the NFL, you can start using said outside companies for it. But we'll dive into a little bit more as we go along with the show. Stay tuned, but be sure to check out this message first.
Yes, sir. Get them while they are hot, ladies and gentlemen. We can, we will, we do. It's bigger than you, bigger than me. Let's get it. Free bands as well.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Thank you so much. If you are tuning in right now, my name is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. And on this show and every single show, we talk about credit repair, real estate, resume writing tips, and some motivation to get you through the day. So if you're just tuning in, I talked about credit repair, a great story for you guys to dive into in regards to what you should be doing with each and every single credit repair program that you do get in bed with or decide to do business with. So moving forward, being my years experience as a recruiter and being in the staffing agency field, I do come across a lot of tips, especially real life examples. So um, I work with a lot of temp to perm roles. People starting off on a temporary basis, 90 days, 6 months. Some are even up to a year, year and a half before they do go permanent. So um, they're always asking the employees that I do have out to work, hey Dan, how quickly can I go perm with the company? And the relationship that I have with any manager that I'm working with will never equate to the relationship you should be having with that manager. So asking whether it be an outside recruiter, asking whether it be the HR person, nobody is going to have that direct relationship outside of YouTube, sharing feedback, sharing what your strengths are, sharing what an action plan should be. So get into the habit of frequently letting your manager know whether you're on a temporary basis, moving into a direct hire role. Please never stray away from your strength, your strong interest in wanting to go permanent with the company, because if a company doesn't see that frequently, especially if the job is competitive, and we are delving into a job market that seems to be pretty balanced right now, but I think the more opportunity for those looking to start businesses and spark that entrepreneurship inside of them is outweighing those who are currently looking for work. So I digress, bringing it back here. But for those that are in that temp to perm role, I want you to take some advice in regards to, being the best that you can be. So I pulled up this blog post from Adecco, who's actually one of the people that we work alongside with when recruiting for jobs. But one of the things they put down is let your employer know. So it's not so much let the staffing agency know that got you the job. It's not so much letting the HR rep know who you talk to about doing the paperwork. It is your employer. It is your manager. It's the person that oversees you that should be knowing on a frequent basis that, hey, I want to go permanent with this company. I'm excited about the benefits. I'm excited about the salary. I'm excited about growing with this company and joining a family such as this to get to where I want to be at in my personal life and in my personal career goals. So that's one thing. Now, once you do let your employer know, once you have expressed to your manager that the people that have put you out to work, you should be tapping on the shoulder. I'm not saying that we have all the magic answers, and I'm not saying that, immediately reach out to us. No, you should just be contacting us after you spoke with your manager and give us the feedback. What advice? Hey, you've been in this position before, whether this is the first time that you recruit for this role, because otherwise your colleagues should be having some experience with that, or you yourself have recruited in this role, and tell me what you have seen. So you're asking the employer manager what to expect, when to expect as far as going permanent. And then in addition, asking the staffing agency, hey, I spoke with the employer slash manager in regards to the steps needed, but really didn't get a clear answer. Would you be able to assist me, in regards to what I should be doing in order to ensure that I go permanent? I will be flatline with all of you and pretty much just say point blank that if you're in a job that requires metrics, that requires numbers, that's the way to go. If your numbers are there now, attendance may have some factor on it, but the most I've seen is that those who have kept their numbers high, who have met the metrics that are needed for the job, survey goals, call center time, what have you, when they met those numbers and they look good on paper, it was an easy showing for them, unless they did find something on their own accord. So when you're doing, letting your employer know, letting your staffing agency know, be sure that you have that back and that it's like, hey, you know what? I've done A, B, and C. I'm able to provide this. They've seen my numbers, they've seen my metrics. So, yeah, this should be an easy walk in the door for me. The other thing to add on to it that Adecco points out is be a team player. Uh, I can definitely tell you one individual, she had such the greatest job. When I say her numbers were exceeding, she has gotten countless feedback from her managers in regards to just her being one of the best, her one of being the best typist. But when it came down to actually wanting to bring her on permanently, because of her attitude and wanting to distance herself, and this was way before COVID, had nothing to do with the pandemic, but she wanted to distance herself so much that when it came time for actual meetings or actual time to do some group building activities, she frayed away from it. So it's like, hey, if you're not looking to be in a permanent position with the company, obviously you're not looking to be a permanent position within the team. So show that you're a team player on the floor, one-on-one with your manager, or even and find those opportunities when it does come time. If you're able to pick up somebody's slack to make yourself and that person look good professionally, by all means take that opportunity. One of the other things that Adecco talks about on here is thinking of your temporary position as a much longer job interview. Now, I got some disagreement with this because job interviews are the worst, especially when you put in your all, especially when you've already said what you needed to say, especially when you spoke about your accolades, your accomplishments, because nobody wants to hear week after week or month after month, depending on how long your temp assignment is, that you got employee of the month at your past job, 10 out of the 12 months. That's only going to fly oh so far during your interview. So saying that it's a much longer needed interview really, in my opinion, doesn't match up. Now, on the other side of the token, I see where they got the definition of interview because you're still proving your skills. But the working or the actual title that should be used for it is a working interview, and not so much that because you're still going over as far as how you're the best skilled for the job. You're still going over your expertise and your background and pointing out things that you've done in your past position at this new job, but you're overextending it by letting them know, hey, this feels comfortable. Because in any interview, nobody feels comfortable. Either one person or the other person is nervous, whether it be the interviewer or the interviewee, especially if questions get rolled over. So saying that's a much longer process during your temporary basis, no, skip over that, ladies and gentlemen. Go straight into realizing that, hey, I have an opportunity to prove myself day after day, and I'm going to continue to do that by letting them know that this job would be the best one for me. In addition, adding on to that, being a team player, and of course, letting my staffing agency know or HR rep that, I want to pursue and take it to that next level in which I become a permanent employee with this company. So, before we move forward, I do have some ideas and tips in regards to real estate, but I wanted to add more on the stock tip per se. So, Cash App that I know definitely does it. Robinhood, I don't believe that they do yet. I can't recall, but you need to start looking at those stock platforms that can offer you to do fractional shares. So if you just wanted to buy $1 of Google, you could buy $1 of Google. There's no harm in that, but your percentage as far as increase is definitely going to be, meanwhile the company made 10% of $1,000 per share. That doesn't mean you made that 10% of $1,000 per share. You just made 10% of your dollar per share. So although it might seem small, you got to understand over time, instead of your money sitting in your pocket, using it on not senseless things, or even just buying things extra at the grocery store just because you have it, in the end it gets wasted, that money could be used towards something else, and it's that better savings goal. I'm not saying that an expert, but definitely I have had close to 20% return on investment since starting, and that's definitely way better than a lot of these banks out here. So with that, so if you'd like to talk to me more about that, be more than happy to assist you, but I'm just going to give you the basics. Sign up on Cash App. After you sign up on Cash App, tell your friends about it so you can get the promo link, or you can direct them directly to me. I'd be more than happy to get the promo money for you. But after you set it up, take a 5-minute, no more than 5-minute video on how to purchase stocks through Cash App, and you'll be all set and good to go. So, all right. But yeah, before we continue on, be on the lookout. We're going to be talking about some more. And also, I am going to be, as we go into real estate, I'm going to be discussing some 1031 exchanges. So do your homework right now, but definitely later on in later episodes, you'll hear more about it. So looking forward to talking to you soon. And we'll be right back after this message break.
Whoa, whoa, whoa there, little fella. Robert Nathaniel's group's price stands where it's at. $49 for a resume. Call us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. So, my name is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. If you're tuning in, we are now in discussion in regards to real estate. So, notice my shiny pin here. That means I am a realtor inside the Philadelphia area. So, if you're looking to buy, sell, or rent real estate, I am your guy. I'm the only guy. No, there's plenty of realtors out here. But if you prefer a relationship with the guy who's giving out free advice and just would like to see you in the best position possible, be sure to give me a call, 267-702-3756. So without further ado, in regards to free tips and advice, my fellow buyers, and I say fellow buyers because in recent news, I actually was approved for a mortgage. Not going to say the amount, you're just going to have to see the house and do your own research, and then you can figure out the exact amount of such said house value and price. But before we even get into that, I do want to go into three things that you should be looking at that you should never ever compromise over. Now, if the painting on the walls is a light peach and you were looking for a bright yellow, and the seller is even saying, hey, we'll knock down $5,000 on the price just so you can buy painting needs, and you say, you know, dearie, I just don't feel this will still be in our interest. What do you think? I was really hoping for a robust red. So if that's a factor, that's something that you can compromise on and later on make the changes for it. But three things that you should never ever compromise on, and that's starting with location, and that's also ending with location. I forgot to mention location. So there's three things you should know about, actually technically six. First being location, the next being location, and the last thing being location. Now I know you're probably wondering to yourself, why does he keep discussing location? I got location. Well, if you don't realize, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people don't look at, you guessed it, location. Location is key, especially where you're at right now. And hey, my fellow realtors, it's a good thing to ask in regards to location, because you want to know, hey, are you working at a job right now that's currently 100% remote? And I know it's going to sound like a salesman ad, but you have to ask these questions, because if they say, hey, I prefer shopping at Giant compared to ShopRite, you don't want to stick them near any residential area that's at ShopRite compared to a house that may be up in the Giant area, or just like a lawyer would have to present all its offers and interests that it receives from the other side, you still want to do the same thing. So anything and everything can be sent over to that prospective buyer. But also, and did I say prospective seller, fellow sellers, or fellow buyers? Anyway, my fellow buyers, making it clear now. But think of location in regards to how it pertains to you. What's your commute to your favorite Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks? What does it look like if you need to go see a family member? What does it look like if you are visiting a friend frequently? What does it look like if you're commuting to work, having to go to the city? What do your future plans look like? Maybe you're looking at grad school, law school, college, and it's going to require that, hey, you know what, twice a week I'm actually going to need to be going to Jersey for this seminar. I don't want to be too far away, let's say out in West Philadelphia or King of Prussia area, where my commute distance is going to be extremely far. I want to find something close to the area that's going to match my commute. So stick with location, make sure you understand location, and be sure to realize that location means everything. So no, but that was the first part, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure location is at the top of your list. Now, the other thing not to compromise on is your fixer-upper versus turnkey. Now, fixer-upper, I'm pretty sure if you watch HGTV or heard it from friends who are doing real estate development or even just bought their first house, and they're saying, yeah, it's a fixer-upper, and they have so much joy. I always, just sit back and smile just like a little kid when people say like, yeah, I got my first home. It's a fixer-upper. It's like, who are you fooling? Who are you trying to fool? you should be happy about it. A lot of people would love to be in your position to experience that and go through that pain of having a fixer upper. Now, do I say that because I'm dealing with a fixer upper right now and I'm trying to hide my own emotions, like a laughing sad clown? No, not at all. But I'm looking forward to that moment because it puts you in a different position. It puts you in a different class. It puts you in a different, knowledge and conversations that you have with other folks. Yes, I'm dealing with the fixer upper. I'm having these current issues right now in regards to it, or I'm trying to work on this and getting this solidified. So having that fixer upper, you have to realize what type of work you're going to be putting into it and have a project set plan. Now, markets may seem to be going crazy where a house that you're looking at today may be gone tomorrow, or the house that you thought you was looking at today already been gone. We were just waiting for the final offer to come through. Whatever it may be, what you need to understand is that what type of work and effort do you want to be putting into these homes? Do you want to go into a house that it's like, what? I got a guy who knows how to do finished basements inside and out. I don't care if I need to redo the basement up, down, left, and right. I'm ready to go. Okay, great. The rest of the house looks good. The only thing I'm concerned about is the basement. Great. I'll go in and fix it up. But if you're just looking for a turnkey, and turnkey literally is, ladies and gentlemen, you putting your key into the slot and you're turning it and opening the door and it's all set for you. So turnkey properties, I would recommend, in my opinion, and it's got to be up to you, how, because even with turnkey, there might still be some issues that need to be done or need to be changed. Maybe a brand new heater needs to be installed, and that's the only thing that needs to be done. Some may classify it as a fixer-upper. Others may classify it as wait, that's the only thing I got to do. I got plenty of heaters that I could borrow from my cousin. I'll be good to go. So make the decision in regards to how much effort and how much work you're going to do, especially when it comes down to doing the inspection of the house. And they actually point out to you, hey, this needs to get done, that needs to get done. And make sure that this is taken care of as well. So if you're responsible in doing so and able to do so, and you see the benefit of the fixer upper outweighing the benefit of a turnkey, then by all means pursue it. But if you're less of a construction mindset and your focus only is that, hey, I'm just trying to get in, move in, get what I need to go to, and I'm good to go, then leave it at that. And then the last thing is your budget. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be approved for $600,000 in regards to real estate. But if your bills and what you're paying for right now can only equate to $425,000, then stay within that $425,000 range. You're not impressing anybody. You're even doing more so because me and my future love, well, current love of my life, but future permanent love of my life, and even my son, we go around and we check out these big houses. We're driving around the neighborhood, seeing which houses that, eventually we're going to move in, big mansion style and all. And we do that just to set the tone for us as far as where we're going to be at by setting those affirmations in our mind. So, not saying that, hey, if we have the money right now, will we do it? No. There'd still be that strategy, there'd still be that planning, and there'd still be that budgeting and making sure that, hey, if we got this big of a house, what are the expenses that are going to come with it? Is this part of an HOA? How often do I have to pay the lawn guy? How bad does it get when snow comes around? Is it something that I got to pay for privately, or is it something that I got to pay for the association fee? Or even worse, am I in an area that the snow people can't even get to, and I'm just stuck here and I got to do this on my own? So these are the factors looking at, and even more so when you do look at your budget, you should be thinking, hey, 5 years from now, where will I be at? 10 years from now, where will I be at? 15 years from now, until the point where your mortgage is paid off. So focus on those few things when you are looking. And my fellow realtors, and for those who are looking to join EXP, give me a call as well. I don't know if you heard the news about Grant Cardone joining EXP, which is awesome. But before I get into that, because I do want to touch bases on that real quick, remember, location, location, location. Second thing, decide what you want to deal with when it comes to the home, fixer upper versus turnkey. Hey, do you want to deal with cosmetic repair or major repair, or do you just want to get in the house, turn the key, and move right in? And last but not least, make sure your budget is intact. So let's talk about real quick before we get to the last segment, and that's just some motivation for y'all. But I want to talk about Grant Cardone joining EXP. It's like the best thing in the world. It's Santa Claus coming to town all over again. You got that glee in kids' eyes, and it's like, if anything, if you're part of the EXP Realty Network, that you're that much closer and being connected to Grant Cardone. You're that much closer in having talks with him, having discussions with him. You're that much closer in being able to partner with them, business, do business with them, referrals with them, what have you. But I want to stop everybody right there. Whether you're part of EXP or not part of EXP, what will change with you? If you're saying, oh, now that Grant's part of this, I need to step up my game and get more leads out there, or use this as my strategy to market for newer agents to come in. What am I doing now with this information? Because everybody has access to the internet. Everybody has access to or able to get access to information just, outside of their home. So if I wanted to build a rocket ship for whatever reason, I'm able to just look up that information or go to the next source that I'm utilizing my phone or getting on internet to get this information. So once I have this information, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to start working on building on this rocket? Am I going to be doing a bio on how to build a rocket? Am I going to be taking this information and teaching it to others? As far as the mechanics of building a rocket. So you got this big rocket ship that just landed, in EXP Realty with Grant Cardone joining. But what are you doing with the information? For me personally, I take it as an advantage to say, hey, he's now part of the same network I'm having, and I'm pulling people in saying that, hey, do you want to be part of the same network? Or be part of this real estate network that is in close connections with big juggernauts such as Grant Cardone, and running with it, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it's about bringing income into your pocket. It's about bringing revenue streams into your pocket. And if you need to ride on somebody else's back, which people have done over and over again, somebody wrote a book on how to make money, and then another person wrote a book on how to make money. Then another person, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to show you how to make more money. And all these other people just keep coming out with books, videos, seminars, webinars, YouTube videos, channels, saying that, hey, or even radio shows on how to make more money. Some of them are doing it for free. But, others are saying like, hey, I'm going to add a price tag to this and show you what you can really do on how to make some real money. So the information that you're given, the information that you're taking, the information that you have in front of you, what are you going to do with it? What are you planning on doing with it? And how you do it comes with scheduling. Now, I'm going to talk about scheduling in my final segment, but before we get to that, be sure to check out this message, and I'll be talking with y'all soon. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to wrap up everything. We talked about credit repair. I shared my personal experience with you in regards to, joining my credit repair program, but also looking to see what the negative side of it is, at the bottom line. Gave you some tips in regards to staying on the right track if you are in a temp to perm position. And in addition, we talked about some real estate tips on what you should be looking out for. There were 3 things. Location, plus 2 others. So be sure to check that out by just scrolling back. Or if you happen to check me out and you're on empowerradio.com, be sure to go to YouTube and subscribe to the RNG radio show. Or by all means, you could find me on Anchor FM as well, and Spotify, as well as other podcasts. So before I wrap this up, I wanted to talk about scheduling your motivation. Folks always say, hey, the earlier that you get up in the morning, the more proactive you be, the more dedicated you'll be in what you got to do. And it's like, all right, what if I can't get up in the morning? Well, stay up late. Night owls, they're always the best ones to get ahead and achieve what they need to achieve. And it's like, All right, well, what if I can only do stuff during the middle of the day? Listen, those afternoon koalas, no, I'm just making up stuff. No, but what threw it out at all, ladies and gentlemen, you need to schedule, you need to put in time, you need to say to yourself, hey, I'm having this set amount of time for doing this, I'm having this set amount of time for doing that, but you need to treat it like a part-time job. Now, for those that have had part-time jobs, you know that if you are a minute late, or if you were calling out of a shift, you had that job that said, well, if you're going to call out, you need to call other people to take your place. Otherwise, this is going to be a second occurrence. We're going to have to let you go. And it's like, oh, shoot, I need this part-time job. I can't let this happen to me. So you're calling people down the list. You're checking it with them. Hey, are you able to cover for me tonight? I'll cover you next week. Yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. I got your back. Oh, cool. I really appreciate that. Well, this time for your goals, this time for your career, as far as what you want to do, you can't call another person back in and say, hey, are you able to cover for me? It doesn't work like that for your personal success. So remind yourself of your schedule. Set your schedule that it's like, hey, 10 minutes every single day, I need to be working on my business. I need to be working on my career. Because if you work in a part-time job and you were a minute late, or you forgot that was your shift that you were supposed to work, you're going to get hurt for that. You might not even have the job anymore. But it doesn't work that way in pursuing your own goals. It doesn't work that way with an entrepreneur. The way that works is that, hey, if you don't produce today, or if you don't do any activity today, you will have no production tomorrow. And if you have no production tomorrow, then what you reap from that production won't happen on the third day. So you need to start building some activity. So how can I start building this activity? Okay, if I'm a realtor, I need to start making some calls. If I'm a credit repair specialist, I need to start putting out some social media ads. Plus, I need to get on some training on what other effective ways that I can utilize social media, or even connecting with my friends and family on more exposure. If I'm running a radio show, I need to do some digging in regards to what kind of content that I want to discuss on my show, but it needs to be a set time. Now, what I don't want to hear you, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you miss it, if you say, all right, Dan, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. This is what I'm going to do between 7 and 7:30, and this is what I'm going to do between 7:30 and 8. Now, if it comes down to where it's like, oh, I didn't wake up till 7:45, I'm running late for this, I'm running late for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's fine. You're not going to get penalized. You're not going to get an occurrence. You're not going to be at a point where, you're going to lose this said job. No, you're just going to be like, all right, you know what? It's game time tomorrow. I'm going to start this all over again tomorrow, and I'm going to make it work. Or there's things that I am doing during my schedule that's improving me, improving my career, improving who I'm supposed to be in life and where I'm trying to get to. So I'm at least doing those items, because how many of you have had that part-time job where you're like, listen, they is getting the bare minimum today, especially when I was working retail. Oh, if I was working in the back as a backroom associate, y'all see Dan? Dan has not been around here lately, or I come around about the corner. Hey, did you need? Sorry, y'all. I was in the back. No, but I was 16, 17 at the time. So a kid that's having to get responsibility out of the way for me. But, now that I'm older, if I was to ever get a part-time job, let me scratch that off. I would never, ever get a part-time job. But for those that do need to get a part-time job, and those that do need to actually add their career goals and what they're trying to look for as a part-time job, sign yourself up, do the paperwork that you need to get started for yourself so you can get started on that week. Listen, the only person that's going to be upset with you is you. And the only person that is going to be proud of you when you start doing what you need to do is, of course, going to be you. So make yourself proud, make yourself diligent, be persistent and consistent through it all. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG Radio Show. So glad for you tuning in. Be sure to check me out on Spotify, Anchor FM, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter. So I look forward to talking to you all soon, and have a great one. And as always, stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.